Hey everyone, it's Shirley Colley Johnson from Solistic Wellness coming to you today. And I want to talk to you a little bit about two things. One, tomorrow's Virgo full moon. So there's a full moon tomorrow, Sunday, March 16th, and Thursday, March 20th, which is our spring equinox or the first day of spring. So the beginning of this year has been full of a lot of retrogrades. We had Venus retrograde when the year started. Then we went right into Mercury retrograde, and currently we have Mars and Saturn retrograding. So we've been kind of in this, or at least I have been feeling this way, just kind of like start, push, push against a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And things are still getting taken care of, but just a little bit of that retrograde feel. And I feel really excited about the first day of spring. The first day of spring represents time for us when the days get longer. We're starting to move towards the summer solstice. We are officially leaving the winter solstice and the season of winter and fall. And we're moving into a time where there's more sunlight, at least if you're in the northern hemisphere. This is the fall equinox if you're in the southern hemisphere of the world. When we think about springtime, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Usually flowers, new beginnings, rebirth. This is a time of rebirth. And not only is it a time of rebirth in yourself or in the things around you, the projects you've been working on and trying really hard since the winter and the fall equinox, the things that you've planted in your life during those times, this is the time when they're going to come into fruition. It's also a time to show off your new self. So not only being reborn, but then going out and letting the newness of you, the newness of your projects, the new things that you're up to be seen, telling people about them, creating energy around them. So definitely if there's things you've been working on, this is a beautiful time to ask for help as well as show what you've been working with. Okay, so tomorrow though is our full moon in Virgo. Virgo is an earthy sign. It's practical, it's analytical, it's also routine oriented. In some ways, it keeps us on our routine, keeps us on our practicality side. It's also very creative in its own way, and it's also very connected to the earth and the cycles of the earth. Many of us forget this, but the earth is constantly in cycle. The planets are constantly in cycle. We are constantly in cycle. So cycle and change is always going on. This Virgo full moon, I invite you to let this be a time of clarity. And sometimes we think clarity comes from a dream or something really mystical, but very often clarity just comes from deciding. Clarity comes from choosing, allowing yourself to see what is going on in truth and being like, yes, or maybe you're like, no, and getting really clear about that. It's not withering and saying, well, it's about being very clear and direct and taking this clear and directness of the full moon with you into the areas of your life that maybe you need a little bit more firmness and direction. Um, so those can be, gosh, for me, those can be anything, any area. So anyway, I love to keep these little videos short, so I invite you, if you have any questions, you want to email me, you want to dialogue a little bit more, leave a comment here on YouTube, or you can email me info@solisticwellness.com. Feel free to visit my website, www.solisticwellness.com, and like my Facebook page for more offerings like this, www.facebook.com/solisticwellness. Thank you. Have a beautiful full moon and happy springtime. Namaste.